All your life, you may have been looking at yourself through a distorted mirror, believing that your appearance and charisma are average or even below normal. But this mirror wasn't placed by you. It's held up by stereotypes, by cultural templates, by other people's expectations. You were taught to believe that attractiveness is obvious signals, perfect features, a flawless body, expensive clothes. But in reality, something else is happening. Around you, every single day, there unfolds an invisible game of attention, where every glance, every pause, every shift in body language carries meaning. And you are part of this game, whether you know the rules or not. Most men judge themselves based on external markers. They look in the mirror and see not who they are, but the reflection imposed on them by media, advertising, and shallow standards. Since childhood, they've been taught that attractiveness is a checklist: sharp jawline, athletic build, stylish image. And because of this conditioning, men expect interest to be expressed directly, in clear words, obvious actions, undeniable gestures. But real attraction rarely looks that way. What they miss is the subtle language women actually use, the signals hidden in nuance, timing, and presence. This is the critical mistake. Men measure themselves through male logic. In male environments, respect or interest is shown openly, directly, verbally. But female communication is built differently. It thrives in subtleties, in context, in layers of non-verbal exchange. Which means this: a man can go decades underestimating his own attractiveness, believing that silence means indifference, when in fact he has been receiving signals all along. He just never knew how to read them. Think about it. If you've measured your value only through the number of direct confessions, through the rare moments when someone explicitly says you're attractive, you've been living with a distorted picture. Those clear, obvious signs are the exception. They only happen under specific circumstances. But true evaluation begins much earlier, in the first seconds of an encounter before a word is spoken. A woman's perception instantly registers posture, presence, energy, the way you carry yourself, even the rhythm of your movements. These micro-signals build the impression that determines the entire interaction. And here lies the psychological trap that blinds most men: the constant comparison effect. Measuring yourself against the top 1%, media idols, actors, athletes, polished illusions. Against that background, your own appearance and charisma will always feel insufficient. But in reality, the comparison should be made not to unreachable archetypes, but to the actual environment you live in. And within that context, your strengths shine far brighter than you think. The tragedy is that men are rarely allowed to openly recognize their own value. Cultural conditioning encourages modesty to the point of blindness. Confidence is mistaken for arrogance, so men avoid acknowledging their own impact. They overlook the very moments where their attractiveness shifts the dynamic of a conversation, where others unconsciously adjust to them. But those small details aren't coincidences. They are the real markers, the silent proof that you are far more attractive, far more influential than you've been trained to believe. And the moment you start noticing them, everything changes. Female interest rarely reveals itself in direct words. Its real language is micro-signals, almost invisible if you don't know what to look for. This communication begins even before the first phrase is spoken. A woman who feels attraction doesn't declare it. She creates opportunities for contact. The first sign is visual engagement, not a steady stare, but repeated, seemingly accidental glances. Peripheral attention, quick shifts of the eyes that look random, but they're not. The second sign is positioning in space. A woman interested in you will find a way to be within your reach. She'll stand closer than necessary, sit next to you in a crowded room. Align herself on your line of sight, even if it's not required by the context. To the inattentive eye, it looks natural. But when it repeats, it is deliberate. Then comes synchronization, speech tempo, rhythm of movement, even breathing, slowly aligning with yours. Psychologists call this mirroring. It's unconscious but powerful. She adjusts her gestures, touches her hair after you touch yours, shifts posture the way you do. From the outside, it looks like coincidence. In reality, it's resonance. Another layer is touch. A woman's interest often expresses itself through socially acceptable micro-contacts. A light brush of your arm during conversation. Fixing your collar. Passing an object in such a way that your fingers meet for a fraction of a second. Each touch tests the ground, builds closeness, and measures your reaction. Even energy changes. A woman who feels drawn to you becomes more animated when you're around. Laughter a little louder. Questions that stretch the conversation even if the topic doesn't matter. An unusual focus on your words, as if what you say suddenly carries more weight. In groups, her behavior shifts even further. She may angle her body toward you while talking to someone else. She may redirect the flow of conversation to include you. She ensures you remain part of the social current. These adjustments are subtle, but repeated patterns reveal the truth. Attention is not equally distributed. You are the center. None of these signals mean much alone. A single glance, single touch can be explained away. But together, repeated, layered, consistent, they form a clear language, a private dialogue, carried out beneath the surface of ordinary interaction. And once you learn to see it, you stop being a passive participant. You stop assuming that silence equals indifference. You realize that attraction is rarely spoken, but constantly shown to those who know where to look. The presence of an attractive, confident person changes the atmosphere of any room, often without them even speaking. Psychologists call this the effect of social gravity. Here's how it works. When you enter a conversation, there is often a pause. People turn their heads toward you. Attention shifts. Not because you demanded it, but because your presence carries weight. Social gravity rearranges group dynamics. Suddenly, others wait for your opinion. The rhythm of discussion slows until you speak. Entire topics adjust to include you. This isn't politeness, it's instinct. In human groups, attractiveness and confidence are read as signals of leadership. People defer. The influence is both verbal and nonverbal. Watch closely in a crowded setting. Others unconsciously shift their posture to mirror yours. Their bodies angle toward you. Even strangers you've just met align with your rhythm of speech and movement. Without effort, you become the invisible center of the group. This power extends beyond attention. Suggest moving a meeting and people follow. Propose an idea and it gets taken seriously before the details are clear. The field bends around you. For women, the effect is even stronger. They may laugh louder at your jokes, hold eye contact longer, or amplify their reactions without realizing why. Men often respond by either showing respect or escalating competition. Both are signs of recognition, that your presence has weight. Another key element is emotional influence. You can raise the energy in a room, making conversations lively, or you can shift it into seriousness with a single change in tone. People adapt to your signals without awareness. Their tempo of speech, even their body movements, fall into rhythm with yours. This is most obvious in new environments, unfamiliar groups where no status hierarchy has been set. Even among strangers, your gravity shows itself. A confident stance, steady gaze, clear speech, and the ability to listen. Combined, these create an aura of centrality. You don't force it. Others simply organize themselves around you. Understanding this effect is critical. Once you see how your presence pulls others into orbit, you can use it deliberately. You can guide attention, set the emotional tone, and shape group interaction. Without loud gestures, without domination. Just by holding your ground. This is the real measure of attractiveness, not just looks, not just charm, but the invisible force that makes others align themselves to you, because on some level they perceive you as the center of gravity in the room. One of the strongest signals of hidden attraction is imitation. It looks small, easy to miss. But it's one of the most reliable markers that someone is drawn to you. A woman interested in you may unconsciously copy your gestures, your pace of speech, your posture. You adjust your chair, seconds later she does the same. You touch your face, she mirrors it. Even phrases you often use may slip into her vocabulary. This isn't coincidence, it's alignment. Her nervous system is tuning itself to yours. Men do it too. Those who feel respect or see you as an authority often adopt parts of your style, the way you talk, the rhythm of your speech, even elements of your clothing. It's a silent recognition. This man is a reference point. Sometimes it's deliberate, but often it's instinctive, like following the lead of someone the group already acknowledges. Imitation spreads further than individuals. In a circle of friends, your ideas begin to echo back. Jokes you made get repeated. Solutions you suggested are presented as if they were group consensus. Over time, your patterns of thought and behavior become the model. That's not theft, it's proof of influence. But attraction and influence don't always come only in soft forms. Competition is also a recognition of gravity. Some men will try to outshine you, grab attention, or exaggerate your style to claim the same space. It feels like rivalry, but in truth it's acknowledgement. They're responding to your weight in the group. The more people mirror you, in gestures, in language, in behavior, the clearer the evidence. Your presence shapes the social dynamic. This is what real attractiveness means. It isn't only about being liked. It's about being a center of orientation. Others use you as their compass. Reputation and social capital often shape attractiveness as much as appearance or charm. When people hear positive things about you before meeting you, their perception shifts instantly. Stories of confidence, success, or even unique traits create an aura that precedes you. It's the effect of anticipation. You're already significant in their eyes before a single word is exchanged. Your circle amplifies this. If you move among respected or influential people, their presence transfers weight onto you. Invitations to private events, collaborations with admired figures, even being seen with trusted friends, all of this builds a silent signal. This person matters. Women and men register it without conscious thought. It's status without bragging. Different environments reveal different sides of your attractiveness. At work, competence and reliability. At cultural events, intelligence and ease of connection. In sports or active settings, physical presence and teamwork. The more arenas where you show strength, the more multifaceted your appeal becomes. Social capital works like a multiplier. One strong impression in the right context ripples outward. A colleague speaks well of you, and suddenly doors open in other circles. A woman notices the respect you carry, and her attraction is heightened before personal interaction begins. Your reputation moves faster than you do. This is the invisible mechanism that elevates your position in the social hierarchy. It's not about forcing attention. It's about letting your consistency, presence, and influence spread naturally through networks of people. That's why truly attractive men don't chase validation. They let their gravity speak for them. If you've made it this far, understand this. Your attractiveness is not defined by a mirror or shallow standards. It's defined by the way others adjust themselves in your presence, the way groups respond to you, the way your reputation precedes you. And the shocking truth, you've likely been far more attractive all along than you ever allowed yourself to believe.